Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Uttana-vato satimato sucikammas nisammakarino sanyatassa ca dhamma jivino appamattassa yaso bivaddati. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Dear friends in the Dhamma, today we are going to study one of the important stanzas in Dhammapada. As we mentioned before, Dhammapada is the very important book in Buddhism. It is like a Buddhist handbook, Dhammapada. Dhammapada is one of the main books in Buddhist canon. And all of them which includes in Dhammapada is stanzas. And one of the stanzas that I told here, that I recited here, let's recite that stanza together. Okay? Uttana-vato satimato sucikamassa nisammakarino sanyatassa ca dhamma jivino appamattassa yaso bhivaddhati. Please again. Uttana-vato satimato sucikamassa nisammakarino sanyatassa ca dhamma jivino appamattassa yaso bivaddhati. This is a very important stanza of us. Actually, there are some qualities here that we can practice to succeed our life. There is a very nice story which relates to this stanza. When Buddha was living in India and in some kind of village, it was a very dangerous illness like a fever. And when people are suffering with that illness, all of people in the same house were subject to die. That is a very dangerous illness, fever. And if somebody can leave the house, or persons who are in the house, they can be saved from that, they can prevent from that illness. But if somebody is in the same house, all of them were subject to die. If somebody wants to recover from that illness, they had to go away from the house. How should they leave that house? They had to jump from their house through the wall. They broke the wall and they go away. They went away from the house. That is the way how they could recover from that illness. Even they went through the windows or doors, they couldn't recover from that illness. If they wanted to recover from that illness, before they got sick, they had to go from their house through the wall. That is the way how they how they recovered from that illness. However, it was a house where the people were sick and the parents were sick. Their only child was okay, but he also was going to sickness. Before he got sick, parents advised that child, "My dear son, now we are sick. Please you go away from this house. Don't take care of us. Now we are subject to die. We have nothing to do. You are only our son. Please go away from this house. Our all property is wealth. We will hide them." And they showed the place where they hid the wealth, their money, everything. They put it in the ground. And the parents showed the wealth that they hid for their child. And one day, "Please you come back and get this wealth from outside, from inside, and you will have a better life in the future. After everything is finished, please you come back. But then we will be not here. But you please come back and you can get that property or wealth that we have saved for you, and you can have a better life." With that advice, that innocent son left the house. And after few years, he came back. He checked the place where his parents hid the wealth, money. He checked, everything is okay, everything is saved. But he was very wise, intelligent. Did he get back those money? No, he didn't get. What is the reason? Nobody knew him. Now he is a young person. When he left the house, he was so young. He was a child when he left the house. When he came back, he was young. Nobody knew him. If he got that money, other people may suspend him, and they were confused. How this child, how this person get this kind of money? And in this situation, he didn't get that wealth, and also he decided to work as a labor, as a poor person. Actually, he was not a poor person because he had a lot of money in the floor, in the ground. But because he was intelligent, he didn't get that money, and he decided to work hard as a labor, as a poor person. You know, his job, he found a job. The job is that in that time, there is a very special post that a person called everybody in the morning to wake up. He does a very big sound loudly. And that is his post, his job, to wake up other people in the morning. They had no alarm or anything at that time. That is a very special post who wakes up the people. One day, when he shouted loudly, the king of the place understood that person. This sound is not a common sound. This sound, who's on this sound may be a rich person. The king asked that person to palace. who are you? Who are your parents? First he didn't tell anything, but again and again, king asked him. Then finally he told this story. My parents were millionaires in this city. And they died in a very serious sickness. At that time I left the house and my parents showed me the place where they hid the wealth that I owned. But I didn't get that money because other people may suspend me. Therefore I didn't get that money. And the king asked, where is your wealth? Where is your money? Please show me it. Then the young person who rolled a very poor character, then he showed the wealth that he had, and the king sent some people to bring every wealth to the palace. And the king, King Bimbisara, he was a very righteous king. He was a very honest person. He commanded to bring all wealth to the palace, ground palace. And the king called everybody to come to the palace and asked, anybody has this kind of wealth in this city, in this country? Nobody told that. Then the wise king commanded that this person is so wise, and I decide to keep this person as a millionaire in this country. And also the king gave his daughter to that person. And also the king gave him a very big village too. And finally the king Bimbisara told this story to the Buddha. There was a very intelligent person who showed a poor role, that I gave this kind of appointment for him because of his intelligence. And about this story, Buddha explained this stanza. There are 7 qualities here which that young person practiced. That is why he could become a millionaire. And also that is why he could have the king's daughter too as his wife. And Buddha explained here there are 7 qualities that anybody can practice for the glory. He who practices these qualities can achieve glory, fame, reputation. And what are the qualities? Uttanavato, energy. The first quality that we should practice for the glory is energy, effort, dedication. Even though that person was very rich, he never showed that he was a rich person. He worked hard as a labor, even though he is very rich. That is why he could develop his glory. The second one, mindfulness, satimato. Mindfulness means the awareness of our mind and body. Whatever we do everything mindfully, with awareness. That is also one of the qualities, the second one. The third one, suchikammasani samkhayino, third one. It means the good conduct, pure in conduct. Physically, verbally and mentally, we do good deeds, correct words, correct actions. That is also one of the qualities that we can practice for glory. in this young person's character, Buddha introduced some qualities. And also fourth one. The fourth one is Nisammakarino, discerning. Discerning means when we do something, we should be intelligent. Before we do something, we should think it again and again whether it is correct or not. We should not be hurried. First some educated had introduced the importance of IQ. In the educational field, some people have introduced some qualities that we can practice. One of them is GPA, grade point average. The other one is IQ, intelligence quotient. Now, the educated don't talk about IQ. Now, they introduce the importance of EQ. EQ means emotional quotient. Emotional quotient means not only intelligent, but with good intelligence, we think again and again before we do something. There are some people whose intelligence is very high, like Bill Clinton. He was a very high square IQ person. But, he had some mistakes in his life because he had not his high EQ. EQ means emotional quotients. Although we are intelligent, we don't do some bad things in our life. With intelligence, we think again and again. It says in Buddhism as wise consideration, wise reflection. That is very important. Before we do something, when we get some decision, special decisions in our life, for our marriage, going to another country, go to a university, have a best friend, when we get some main decisions in our life, we think again and again whether it is correct. If we have no enough understanding, we ask somebody who are more intelligent than we are. Like our parents, our educated, teachers, professors, we ask somebody whether it is correct or not. That is the one of the qualities of the person who has high EQ. Here it says discerning, nisammakarino, wise reflection, wise investigation. We should not be intelligent, but we should be good awareness or wise reflection when we get some decision. That is also one of the person that young person's name was Kumbhagosaka. Kumbhagosaka means he who calls other people to wake up. Kumbhagosaka in Pali language. Gosaka means sound and say something loudly. He made a sound to wake up other people in the morning. And going here and there in the city, he called other people loudly to wake up. And even though he was rich, he didn't show his richness. And he lived as a laborer. He was not hurried to get the property, get money soon. He waited until the proper time comes. That is one of the qualities that he had, discerning. That is also very important. The next one, sanyatasacha, self-controlling. We have self-discipline. That is very important, discipline. Discipline means discipline in our speech and behavior. That is also very important. When we go forward in our education, if we have no good discipline, actually sometimes we are not successful. Especially when we go forward in our employment situations, we should have good discipline. And when we associate other people, we should have an ability to associate many people with a good discipline. If we can't do it, we are unsuccessful in the society, in the employment. And that is why self-controlling is very important. We don't need a person who always advises us. We should have self-controlling. When you grow up after 16, 17, 18, you should have self-controlling. When you do something, you have to think it. And also especially discipline in our speech and behavior is very important when we go forward. If we have good discipline, it is very beneficial to go forward in our education and employment. Here Buddha showed, because that Kumbhaghosa had this quality, he could get the daughter of the king, because he showed these qualities in his life. And the next one, righteousness, Dhammajivino. When we spend our money, when we earn money, especially when we earn money, we should earn money in righteous way. Easy money, easy going. If we earn something very hard, that wealth is very permanent, because we have earned it in righteous way. That is why there is a very special letter. I think sometimes you have read it. You know the letter written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher? That is a very world famous letter. The letter which is written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher. Abraham Lincoln commands his son's teacher how to teach him, how to teach his son. One of them is, there are some commands there. One of them is, Abraham Lincoln says to his teachers, his son's teacher, please teach my son to earn money hard. $5 is more important, which is earned hard, than $100 which is earned easily. Showed that advice to my son. Abraham Lincoln advises his son's teacher. There are a lot of advice that we can see in that letter. You can search it in Google. Write it, Abraham Lincoln's world famous letter written to his son's teacher. That is very important. When we were in our country, in Sri Lanka, actually we had learned it. Not only we learned it, when we trained some teachers, first of all we show that letter. That is a very good example how we feed a child. There are a lot of advice. Okay, that is there. Buddhism also has said it for a long time ago. And when we earn something, it should be righteous. We should earn money in righteous way. It is very important. Then we earn something in wrong ways. That young person, Kumbhaghosa, earned money in righteous way. Even though he had a lot of money, he didn't get that money. He wanted to live working hard. That is very important. He lived as a laborer, even though he was so rich. And also the last one, heedlessness, appamattassa. Heedlessness, heedfulness. Heedfulness, appamada, courage, or going forward in education, employment, health and morality. If we do something continuously and if we go forward again and again in the success way, that says as appamada or heedfulness, dedication, courage. Continue something lonely again and again in the righteous way. These are the qualities. Actually, this stanza is very, very, very important for children who are studying. These 7 qualities guide us to go forward in our education and employment. Please look at these 7 qualities again. The first one, uttanavato, energy. Energy, uttanavato, and satimato, mindfulness, and conduct in pure, and suchikammas, and fourth one, discerning, or nisammakarino, wise reflection, and sanyatasacha, self-controlling, dhammajivino, righteousness, earning money in righteous way. The seventh one, heedfulness, going forward in education, employment, health and decency with heedfulness. If someone can practice these qualities, that person can improve his glory. Glory is the most important thing that we should have. Glory or fame or reputation. Everybody likes glory. We do everything for glory. Sometimes people do some merits for glory. Sometimes some people donate something to others in the name of glory. Sometimes there are some people who spend everything, their money, their properties for glory. Because the glory is the most important thing for a person. There are some rich people, they donate a lot of money to the church or temple or some poor persons, poor people. What do they need? Sometimes they don't need merits. They need glory. Glory or fame is the most important thing of a person. And we study, we earn money, we build a very big house, and we sometimes get master degrees, doctorates. We do everything. We teach our children. What for? Not only for their future, but we want to say somebody to that, my children are well educated, my children are studying this kind of universities, Harvard, Cornell, Cal State. Parents want to show their glory. Parents sometimes want glory. That is why they do these kind of activities. Everybody, needs glory. Glory is one of the properties of a person. And if somebody can practice these qualities in his life, actually they can improve their glory, fame or reputation. Have any question? This stanza is very important. Please try to learn by heart this stanza. When you come next day, I think you will say it in heart. Uttanavato satimato suchikamassa nisammakarino sanyatassaca dhammajivino appamatpassa yaso bivaddati. Uttanavato satimato suchikamassa nisammakarino sanyatassaca cha dhamma jivino appamatthassa yaso bhivaddhati. This stanza comes in Dhammapada. Buddhism has a very special book as Dhammapada, which comes in Khuddaka Nikaya. This stanza comes in Dhammapada book. Okay, when we do all things, while we are practicing all these qualities, finally we need a very special thing. We do everything for happiness. Happiness is our final goal. That is the main purpose of everybody. Happiness. Happiness, for the happiness, people do everything in the world. They study, and they earn money, they build houses, they feed their children. They do everything for happiness. Sometimes those things bring happiness. But, even though we are very rich, although we are well educated, if our mind is polluted with anger, craving and delusion, actually we have no real happiness. That is why Buddhism has explained the real path, how to achieve the real happiness. If somebody can purify one's mind from negative thoughts like craving or greed and anger, hatred or ill will and delusion, this is the proper way that we can become the real happiness. Anger is the one of the reasons which disturb our peace of mind. If we are angry, even though we are well educated and rich, all of them are useless. That is why Buddha says, on the path of happiness, at the very beginning, we have to practice loving kindness. Stress, we have stress mostly because of anger. When we meet somebody, if we get angry, actually we have no inner peace. That is why Buddha says we have to overcome anger little by little. Craving, big attachment, lustful desire, also one of the reasons which disturb our peace of mind. And delusion. What is the delusion? If we can understand that Buddhism explains the delusion, actually we are the fortunate people in the world. When we see something, that scene, that experience arises at the moment. That experience didn't come to the present from the past. That experience will not go to future from the present. That experience arises and ceases at the moment. That is the way that we think if we want to overcome ignorance or delusion. We have only one experience at once, and also that experience is impermanent. We mostly give some example like this sound. Like this sound, if we see something, that experience arises at the moment. When we hear something, when we smell something, when we eat something, when we have experience through our physical body, if we think something, we get experience through 6 senses. That experience happens at the moment. We have only one experience at once. When you think your mom, you have only your mom. When you think your house, at that moment you have only house. When you think your grandma who passed away, at that moment you have only grandma. When you think your grandfather, at that moment you have only grandfather. We have only one experience at once. Then other experiences are not in your world. This is the nature of our life. If we are clever to understand this reality, we are always aware of our mind. Our mind always creates the thoughts, volitions. That volitions arise at the moment. Everything is impermanent. If we can realize that impermanence, be sure at that moment we have no any suffering. At that moment we depend on inside. Now we mostly depend on outside. When we look at something, we are outside. When we hear something, when we have call, our mind is outside. We have no awareness that everything acts according to my intention, according to my mental conditions. Like, when we go to the mirror, we can see the reflection. When we go to the mirror, we can see our reflection in the mirror. If we want to correct something in the mirror, in the reflection of the mirror, what should we do? We should prepare here in this side. If you want to comb your hair, you have to comb here. You never comb the mirror. When you see something, if you are suffering, the fault is here. Nobody can bring happiness or suffering. Happiness or suffering arises inside. The thing which is outside has some duty, but the main reason why we suffer or happy is inside. This is the way how we overcome delusion. If we are clever to overcome these defilements, negative thoughts from our mind day by day, this is the proper way, this is the correct way, the way that we can achieve the real happiness. While you are studying, while you are going forward in your employment, while you are going forward in the society, please try to purify your mind from negative thoughts. That is the proper way that we show our proficiency, skillfulness, our fluency. If we can protect our mind, nobody can disturb our peace of mind. If somebody can disturb your peace of mind, where is the fault? Fault is our mind. We have a weak mind. That is why other people, outside people can change our mind. That is why other things can change our mind. That is why other persons can bring us suffering. If we are intelligent, if we have mindfulness and wisdom at that moment, nobody can disturb our peace of mind. Even in a very complex situation, we are away from suffering. Even our close relatives die, we don't suffer. That is the way that Buddha explained. That is why Buddha said, Buddha's message doesn't belong to Buddha. Buddha realized, he discovered the world reality. Buddha says very clearly, whether a Buddha appears or not in the world, this reality is forever. Anybody can experience this reality. If we are intelligent, if we have dedication, we can experience this path and also we can see the result. The main thing that the intelligent person should do is purifying mind. If we know the impermanence in the world, we have no attachment, craving or lustful desire with anybody or anything. It doesn't mean that we go away from the society. It doesn't mean we go to the jungle and also become a monk. We don't need it. But while we are living in the society with the people, while we are doing good jobs in the society, if we can purify our mind from negative thoughts, that is the highest way that we overcome suffering. We should not suffer in this time when a Buddha appears in the world. Buddha pointed out the way how overcome suffering. When we think something, when you think your grandma, if your mind lives in the past experience without mindfulness, then you may get suffering. What is the reason? Still your mind lives in the past experience. When somebody has blamed you, when you think that person, if you get angry, what is the reason? Your mind lives in the past experience. Now that person has forgotten everything, but still your mind lives in the past experience. That past experience has ceased because of no mindfulness. Our mind, when our mind goes to past, we get suffering. The Buddha explained the way how we overcome suffering. If we suffer, our everything that we earned is useless. Then Buddha pointed out very kindly how we overcome suffering. There is a very clear path. Everybody can practice. We are so lucky having this kind of teachings in the world. Buddhism doesn't belong to Buddhist. Buddhism doesn't belong to even Buddha. Buddhism doesn't belong to person who is intelligent and honest. Honesty and intelligence are the primary qualities that we should have if we want to practice Dhamma. What are the qualities? Intelligence and honesty. Intelligence and honesty are the essential qualities that we should have if we want to practice Dhamma. And little by little, try to purify your mind. When Buddha was living in his time, there were some persons who attained enlightenment at the age of 7. Age 7 is the time that we can achieve this spiritual development, because we have earned something. We have developed our mind in our past lives. Even though we are so young, our intelligence is not young. Our intelligence is matured. It is very high, because we are coming in a very long journey. We have been coming for a long time. From time to time, from life to life, we are coming, earning some spiritual faculties. And this is the proper time that we can show our skillfulness. While you are going forward in your education and employment, try to develop your mind. Try to purify your mind. That is the highest way that you can show your qualities, skillfulness, proficiency. That should be our duty in this time. This is a very valuable time when a Buddha's Dhamma appears in the world. Okay? I explained today the qualities that we can practice in the name of glory. Especially, if you can practice these qualities, you can go forward in your education and employment and social situation. And again, please say the qualities that we can practice according to this stanza. Uttanavato, energy. And Satimato, mindfulness. Suchikamasa, pure in conduct. Nisammakarino, discerning. And Sanyatasacha, self-controlling. Dhammajivino, righteousness, living in righteous way. And Appamattasa, heedfulness. Okay, please try to practice these qualities in your day-to-day life. And gradually you can go forward day by day in your education and employment. For that, I wish you all the best. By the power of all these merits, now we are going to transfer these merits to our beloved departed relatives too. By the power of all these merits, May our departed beloved relatives also receive these merits and may they enhance their spirituality. May they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to our departed relatives too. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits, and may they enhance their psychic energy, and may they keep their eye on you too. May they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu desanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all these merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May your all educational goals meet with success. May all of us attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantāca nirdukkhaṃ Bhayam pantāca nirbhayāṃ Sokam pantāca nissokāṃ Hanto sambe pipānino. May the triple gem bless you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.